you guys out there and ladies that are writing about this and covering it. Hopefully you're excited as I am just listening to Brian speak about having 98 million universe, home universe out there. I mean, I just think that's tremendous for our sport. Bring a lot more eyeballs and attention to not only to boxing but to this heavyweight division, which I think is greatly needed. So, Brian, and I know from the production end, we're going to have Matt Sanduli bringing in a great broadcast for the viewers around the globe, along with Stephen McDonald, who you probably have seen on a lot of the press releases, head of PR over at ESPN, and spearheading it for this boxing event. But again, I think it says a lot having not only Vladimir fighting on ESPN, but then coming out with this heavyweight championship fight, and we know it's going to be a great fight between two deserving top contenders. Speaking of that, we've got Bermane Stiverne on the phone with us right now, along with his manager Camille Esteban. And Camille and Bermane have been a joy to work with. I know that he's been training out of Las Vegas, Nevada, out of Floyd Mayweather's gym. And for those of you that live out in that area, we will be doing something with Bermane on an open workout next week. We'll get you more information on that, but I'd like to have Bermane say a few words and give a hello to the media out there. Bermane?
Yeah, hi guys. I'm just happy to be a part of this. Man, it's personally to me, it's a long time coming. I've been patient for quite a while. I'm just happy to be able to fight for the title. Obviously, I believe that I will be crowned the heavyweight champion. Basically, I'm just happy, man. I'm just happy that ESPN was able to jump on board and surprise everybody. And I just want to thank ESPN, DKP, Dan Goosen, Bryant from ESPN, Camille, my team, everybody. So I'm ready to go. I'm to the point where I don't want to be in the gym anymore. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go right away. So to me, I mean, it's a great opportunity to like Dan said about the 90 plus million people that will attend to watch the fight. This is great coverage, and who better to do it than ESPN? So I'm really looking forward to make history for to bring back the title to America, and also being the first Haitian to be heavyweight champion of the world.
Thank you, Bermane. Now, we'll open it up for any questions you might have for Bermane or his manager, Camille, who's also on the phone, as I mentioned, or for ESPN and Brian Queter.
Thank you. If you would like to ask a question or have a comment, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. This will place your question in the order it was received. Once again, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. This will place you in the question queue.
Okay. Our first question comes from Dan Rayfield, senior boxing writer from ESPN.com. Dan, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Bernie. Hello, guys. Bermane, I have a question for you about this fight. Originally, you thought you'd be, after you beat Chris last year, you were supposed to fight Vitaly Klitschko, the reigning title holder at the time. He retired. My question for you is there any sense of disappointment that you're not fighting Klitschko for the title, or and then you have to fight Chris in a rematch, or are you just as happy to be fighting a rematch with Chris because the ultimate goal is to get the belt?
Right. I mean, this to me personally, it wasn't about who I was going to fight. I knew I was going to fight for the title, but I just didn't know who and when. And to me, I mean, honestly, I'm just happy to fight for the title. You know, you don't have a lot of heavyweights that even fight for the title. Some heavyweights have been there for 20, 25 years and never fought for the title. And I'm thankful and grateful to be able to do so. So I'm really happy about being to fight for the title. I mean, it didn't matter who. It was just I just wanted to fight for the title and have that chance to become a champion.
Bermane, did you feel a little bit jerked around by Vitaly, though, because, you know, they had the purse bid scheduled a few times, then he said he got injured, it got put off, it got delayed by the WBC, and, you know, that's valuable time from you. He's been sitting there mandatory for a long time, and then he retired, and then first they had to go through the process all over again to get this fight with you and Chris set up. Was there any sense of frustration during that period of time while you were unsure whether Vitaly would fight you or what was going to happen? You know, I guess this is going back maybe like about, you know, whatever, 5-6 months ago.
Disappointed, yeah. I wouldn't say they're disappointed. I think it was a lack of respect because I believe that he knew what he was going to do, so he pretty much took his time and he was babysitting the title, so to speak. But it didn't really frustrate me because I knew somehow one day I would be fighting for the title. So I also knew that nobody could take that away from me. I just didn't know who and when, but I never got frustrated. I just felt that at a point I was being disrespected, you know, for a bit. But you know, we are today, so all that is in the past. I'm happy about the outcome and how it's going to happen and when it's going to happen.
That's great. Now I just got one more question for you. So you're fighting Chris again. You beat him.
Yes.
I guess it was last April. You did so rather handily on the scorecards. You knocked him down. You broke his nose. It was a good fight, but you definitely were the clear winner. My question is then, do you think that do you have to change anything up, or do you think you can go with the same sort of plan and just do basically what you did the last time, since you already have, you know, a clear 12-round win against him in your first matchup? You know, how will this one be any different for you, if at all?
Different as whatever I did in the first fight. I would do it better, way better. And I'm not going in the ring with my last performance. So we getting ready for any type of Arreola. So whatever Arreola show up on May 10th, you know, I'll be able to handle that. And to be honest, I think this fight, I think Chris will be in shape. That's his excuse. But I believe that Chris is going to bring the best out of me, and he will bring the best out of me. That's how I see it. The more in shape that he is, the more trouble he's going to be in.
All right. Bermane, thank you very much. I wish you good luck on the fight. Appreciate it.
Dan, thanks very much for joining us. Next up from the boxing capital of the world, Las Vegas, Steve Karp from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Go ahead, Steve.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, Bermane. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Two questions. One, have you thought about how winning the heavyweight title will change your life?
No, you know, to be honest, sometimes it's kind of like scary. You know, when you think about all these great heavyweights that had the title, and you know, I'm to the point where it's like, wow, like I'll be able to put my hands on the title that Tyson had, and Ali and Lennox Lewis. So I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just a dream that's in front of me, and all I gotta do is go and grab it. But it feels good. It's I just don't know. I mean, I'm working hard for this. I'm putting everything I got to this. A lot of sacrifices that half of the people I know wouldn't do. I mean, we're talking about literally turning my back on my loved ones and kids, and not be able to see them for a couple months. We're talking about since I've been gone since December, and this is the way I do it. This is the only way I know how to do it, is to leave and go to camp and kind of like be in my little cave mentally and physically. So I put a lot on the line. Not a lot. I put everything I got on the line for this, and it will pay off. I believe it will pay off, and this is where I'm at with it.
Great. And one other question: training at Floyd's gym, and you see the work he puts in on a daily basis. I'm wondering how much of that rubs off on you and motivates you when you see not only Floyd but his other fighters, and how it's all business in that place. And I'm just wondering if any of that has kind of rubbed off on you and motivated you.
Of course, I am one of them original member, the first member of the gym, and I pretty much changed my my way of training and my career when I moved to when I entered that gym and saw Floyd training, and there's something that you got to see with your own eyes from a man that has everything he wants in the world and train like he's still poor and like he's still hungry. So I'm very grateful to be around him, to be able to see him training. It's just, to me, it's just like a plus to me to be around this type of individual, and to be able to see the one of the best or the best fighter in my era.
Very good, thanks.
Thanks very much, Steve. Appreciate you joining us.
You got it. Thanks, Bernie.
Next up, joining us from Germany, Steven Jorgens from Sports Build. Go ahead, Steven.
Good morning, gentlemen. Bermane, I was wondering, in your career plan, after this fight, do you think about when you win that, do you want to go after Vladimir Klitschko because he's considered the best at the moment, as fast as possible to get after him? And how do you like the chances in the fight with him?
Well, right now this is not something that's on my mind right now. My focus is on Chris Arreola and the title. Obviously, this is something that me and my team and my manager would look at, but right now, this is not something that I personally thinking about right now.
Mm-hmm. One quick follow-up, and how would you say, what is the state of the heavyweights in North America at the moment after all those years of the Klitschko holding the titles, and what can you bring to give it a shot into the arm?
Oh, I mean, the state of the heavyweight division right now is, we'll be back May 10th. I believe that I am going to bring the excitement back. I believe that I am in my prime right now. And like I said, I'm looking forward to May 10th because this is going to be a great fight, not only for me or for Chris, but it's going to be a great fight for the fans, and we'll be able to make the sport to be honored the sport on ESPN and be able to bring that excitement that was missed, that all the fans missed for so long. Like Dan Goosen said, it was since Mike Tyson or Lennox, there hasn't been too many excitement in that division. So I'm looking forward to bring that back.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen, for joining us. Next up, from Ring Magazine and RingTV.com, Lem Satterfield. Go ahead, Lem.
Hey, Bermane, how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, great. Dan, I want to first ask Dan. Dan, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, Chris Arreola and actually Bermane, when I talked to Bermane in Las Vegas at one point, said that some of the so-called younger fighters, some of the guys that are being touted out there, really aren't as good as they are. Bermane pretty much predicted that Chris was going to do to Seth Mitchell what he ended up doing. Do you feel that, can you characterize these two guys as the two best guys, and do you think the right guys are fighting, and why do you think the right two guys are fighting for the vacant heavyweight title?
Well, I think they've been tried and tested, whereas the other young fighters, they really don't know how good someone is until they fight someone that we know is good. So Chris obviously has had that distinction, and Bermane got a taste of it in April of last year. So those are the obstacles that anyone that we're going to put a tag on being real contenders have to go through before they can become real contenders.
Dan, one more question for you. Any significance do you see to the fact that this conference call has taken place 13 years ago to the day that Hasim Rahman kind of brought beat Lennox Lewis, knocked him out on April 22nd, 2001, and brought, the championship back to the United States?
Well, obviously, Bernie must have relayed our inner office conversation about that because we specifically targeted that date.
Why?
Because we knew you'd ask about it, Lem.
Okay. Bermane, I have a couple questions for you. How you doing?
Okay. Good.
First of all, how long have you lived in Las Vegas?
I've been in Vegas 10 years.
And how long have you been going to Mayweather's gym?
From day one. From the first day that they opened, I was there.
So it's been like how long for you?
I believe it was in 2007, if I could.
All right. And in terms of your having been out of the ring, and Dan Rayfield made a reference to being having to wait on Klitschko. It's almost been a year since you fought Chris Arreola. What have you done to prevent yourself from getting rusty, from getting stale? I know you said you've worked out. Can you characterize what you've done in the last year to be ready for this opportunity again?
I mean, I'm a professional athlete, so I always make sure that I'm doing something, whether it's running or it could be basketball. I remember after the last fight I had with Chris last April, maybe for the next 4 or 5 months, I went back to Florida, and I was on the basketball league for about 3 or 4 months. So it could be different things, and I'm still in the gym, I just keep myself busy and not so I don't get out of shape or like I'm telling you, man, I'm a professional athlete, So I have to be in some type of shape even when I'm off season or if I'm not fighting.
Okay. My last question for you is, as Dan Goosen made a reference, Chris Arreola was kind of a known quantity, if not a proven quantity, having, fought Klitschko and Thomas Adamek before having faced you. Yet, a lot of people, I thought, I don't know if you heard this, felt like, your one loss, they bring that up and almost, did you feel, get a sense, were you the underdog going into that fight? Correct me if I'm wrong. And also, did you feel like you showed what you're capable of against a known quantity when you fought Chris and beat him like you did?
To me, I didn't feel like I was the underdog, but I knew I was. When you talk about the fans or the media, Arreola was a big favorite, a huge favorite. And listen, I've been watching Arreola for so long. And, I knew and I know still today that Arreola is tailor-made for me. I have the style and I'm able to use I'm able to be smart in the ring and do a certain thing that he can't do. So to me, it was I just have to prove to whoever thought that it was impossible for me to win the fight. Go out there and beat him.
Bermane, thank you very much for your refreshing comments.
Ron, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take one more question for Bermane Stiverne from Eddie Goldman, No Holds Barred. Go ahead, Eddie.
Thank you very much. Hello, Bermane. I have a question that this has really been a long time coming. You've been fighting for a long time, and as you know, people counted you out really until perhaps the Arreola fight and maybe the Ray Austin fight. People weren't giving you a lot of respect. How did you mentally stay on course and stay confident that you were going to be able to get a heavyweight title shot as you're going to be getting now?
Believe in what I can do. I mean, I knew how I could, my skills. I knew what I could do in the ring. So people that didn't know me, obviously would judge me, from I believe my loss and my the fight with Austin, which I didn't look too good. But I always believe in myself and believe in my skills.
Yes, sir.
So no matter what people said about me, I never.
He's on the call. I've got him logged in already.
Doubted myself.
Was there any time you got frustrated?
Let Camille say a couple words and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, thank you.
You got it, pal. Alrighty. Eddie?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much for your call.
Right, thank you.
I'm going to turn it over now back to Dan Goosen, Goosen Duda Promotions. Go ahead, Dan.
Thank you, Bernie. And Berman and Camille, I know you didn't get any questions asked, but I'm sure you'll be doing a lot of talking next week or the week of the event. But thank you for being on, and I now want to have Chris Arreola say hello and give an opening statement to the press. Chris, you on?
Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Right.
Yes. Chris?
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Berman. Is Chris on?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm there.
Oh, okay, good, Chris. Why don't you say hello to the press? We've got them all on the line waiting for you to speak.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing, man? Well, I'm over here in San Diego just straight grinding and getting ready for this fight. I know Bermane is going to get ready 100% like he always does, and now it's my time to get ready 100% and put on a great show on May 10th for everybody live out there on ESPN.
Thanks, Chris. And we also have his trainer, Henry Ramirez, on. Henry, why don't you just give us a quick overview on how the training's been going?
How's everybody doing? May 10th is rapidly approaching, and Chris is down here working like never before. And no doubt in my mind, on May 10th, he's going to come out victorious because of the work he's putting in here.
Sounds good. Let's open it up, Bernie, for any questions for Chris.
To the operator, can you give the instructions once again to the press about how to acknowledge themselves for questions they have in the queue?
Yes, thank you. If you would like to ask a question or have a comment, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. That will place you in the question queue. Once again, that's *1 if you would like to ask a question.
Thanks very much, operator. Once again, we're going to go back to Dan Rayfield, senior boxing writer for ESPN.com. Go ahead, Dan.
Thank you, Bernie. Hello, Chris, Henry. How you guys doing?
How you doing, Dan?
Pretty good.
Good. Thank you. Chris, question for you. So this fight, it sort of, to me, has two things that would be significant for you. One, of course, is to win the vacant title. Two, of course, would be to avenge your loss to Bermane Stiverne from a year or so ago. When you think about this fight, which one is most immediately important to you? Is it the title, or is it just the satisfaction of avenging a loss?
Well, as far as what's important to me, because of the kind of person that I am, and the character that the dude that I am, the guy that I've grown up being, I hate losing. And the fact that I get to avenge my loss, to me, that means the world. But you got to add to it that I'm going to fight for the world title. Man, how sweet could that be, man? Avenge a loss and win the title at the same time and making history. You know, it all comes together, and it's gonna be a great culminating night on May 10th. Bermane did what he was supposed to do on the first fight, and this fight, now I have to do what I have to do, which means, you know, bring the fight to him and put him on his heels.
Chris, in the past you've had some important fights, not always, you know, won them. I've covered some of them. Oftentimes there's been excuses afterwards about you weren't focused, weren't in shape, you know, whatever the case may be. Do you feel like this is the last chance that, you know, we've heard those comments from you, those excuses from you, that it's, you got to either put up or be quiet after this one?
Absolutely. I have to. That's why I'm over here in San Diego working my butt off, man. No excuses. You know, in the past I would give myself the reason to have an excuse. You know, I wouldn't show up to the gym. I wouldn't do what I'm supposed to do as a professional, and times has changed, man. I feel like I'm a matured fighter, and I'm more of I have what it takes between my ears and in my heart and in my balls. Now it's time for me to let it all hang out at the boxing gym, and really, that's really what a fight is won. The fight is won in the gym. You know, I hate using excuses. I hate doing excuses. You know, the last time Bermane beat me, I don't want to say that it was because I was in shape or blah, whatever. He beat me. He's the one that broke my nose. You know, the fact that I wasn't in shape doesn't change the fact that he broke my nose. That's the main thing, you know. I was still in the fight, and like I said, I always believe in my punching ability, and I had no quit in me, and I always believed there was a puncher's chance. But May 10th, there's no excuses. There's not going to be not one. He should have done this. He should have done that. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do in the gym. And May 10th, we're going to show who's the better man.
Henry, can you speak to that, to Chris's past excuses and losses, but now his saying how dedicated he is in the gym for this fight? You're seeing him up close. Is he skipping gym sessions, or is everything going the way you want it?
This camp is going according to plan. Just like the Arizona, excuse me, just like the Arizona camp in preparation for the Seth Mitchell. You know, obviously not comparing Bermane and Mitchell, but just the camps themselves, they're exactly the same. Chris is out here busting his behind. I don't have to sit at the gym and wonder, damn, is he going to show up today? Because when I'm walking downstairs, I knock on his door, hey, it's time to go. You know, it's pretty regimented. Chris puts in 2.5 to 3 hours at the gym, and then he does an hour in conditioning in the evening. So, I mean, right now he weighed 244 yesterday, and we're having to slow him down. We're having him eat a lot just so we can maintain the weight. You know, optimum fighting weight for me about 237, 240, right in that range. And not a doubt in my mind come May 10th that Chris is going to come out victorious because, honestly, He's training like a desperate man right now. A man very desperate.
Chris, are you desperate?
Absolutely. I'm very desperate. You know, I've done a lot of dumb shit in my life, and it's time to stop. It's time to give myself an excuse. It's time for me to man up and handle my responsibilities in more ways than one. In the boxing gym, in my fight, in life in general, man. It's just time for me to man up and just, you know, do what I'm supposed to do as a man. Work hard.
All right, Chris, thank you very much, Henry. I appreciate it. Good luck, guys.
Dan, thank you very much for taking the time. We appreciate it. Next up for Chris Arreola and Henry Ramirez is Michael Amakor from FightKings.com. Michael, go ahead, please.
Yes. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. How you doing, man?
Yeah, fine. Well, what exactly, what pains you about your loss to Bermane? Why is that one of the biggest losses of your career, and why does that particular one stick?
Oh, well, it sticks because it was my last loss. You know, that's one of the main reasons it sticks the most. But plain and simple, I hate losing. I don't like losing, and especially when I'm the idiot that causes the loss. You know, yeah, Bermane broke my nose and stuff like that, but I constantly kept trying to win this fight, but I couldn't. Bermane was just a better fighter that night, the better conditioned fighter. He was able to put combinations together, which I wasn't. I was just looking for that one shot, and that's one thing that I won't be making a mistake this time, man. I'm not going to be looking for just one shot. I'm going to be on him. I'm going to be accumulating punches, and I'm going to make him work every minute, every round. I know I said it before, and I mean it, man. I'm going to make him work.
Now, you also mentioned a little about the desperation. Why the desperation at this stage of your career? At least for this fight.
I have 3 losses, man. You know, this could be my very last shot, and I'm not gonna take this shot for granted. I'm not gonna fuck this shot up. I'm gonna make sure that I make it count. I'm gonna, just like every punch I'm gonna throw, I'm gonna make every punch count. I'm gonna make this fight count, man. This is a do or die fight for me, man, because I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not a paycheck fighter. I'm not a fighter that's going to be a gatekeeper. That's not me. I don't want to be in the sport to do that. I'm in the sport to be a champion, not to be a paycheck fighter or a crossroad kind of fight kind of guy.
Okay, my last question. I mean, we, the media, we tend to kind of back you into a corner after you lose a fight, but you've actually manned up for all these fights and gone the distance. You've not been stopped. Would you, now that you have an opportunity, would you blame yourself for those losses, or would you blame your trainer? I hate to put the trainer on the spot, or certain things that couldn't allow you to get to your full potential. And what have you done in this camp that's different from everything else?
My trainer, he's a complete asshole. He's a jerk outside the ring. You know, I can't stand the guy. But I'm going to say one thing, man. I can never blame him for my loss. I'm a man. You know, I stand when I pee. I don't sit when I pee. And I take every loss by me. Henry's at the gym every day waiting on me. Henry was at the gym making sure that I was doing what I was supposed to do, but it was always up to me. It's always up to me whether I do it or not. And of course, every loss is my fault. I'm not going to blame Henry. Shit, Henry was at the gym. Henry's doing everything he's supposed to do. Henry watches fights. Henry analyzes things. I'm the one that just didn't do the thing. I'm the one that didn't do the work. And the difference now is that, you know, when we're in camp, there's only one car key, and that's Henry's car. And we go to the gym every day, and I make sure I put in the work every day because, like I said, this fight, my back's against the wall. I can't lose this fight. I'm gonna lose this fight. I have to do it for myself and for my family.
Great. Thanks very much, Chris. Michael, thanks very much for the questions. Appreciate it.
Yes,
Next up, we have Sean Croce from Boxing Insider. Go ahead, Sean.
It's good talking to you, sir. I have a question for you. Last time, you did a great job with Stiverne in the first 2 rounds. I really thought that you were dominating, and it looked like you might win the fight. However, he ended up asserting himself. So, Chris, how do you intend to keep Stiverne from asserting himself this time around?
What happened? I'll tell you exactly what happened that fight. The first 2 rounds, I was doing me. I was making sure that I was on him and that I was doing my fight. In the 3rd round, I kind of took it off. I went methodical. I started just pawing my punches and just throwing punches in. That's the reason I got caught with that stupid right hand, because I threw a lazy jab. I got lazy in that fight, and that's something that I'll make sure I'm not going to let happen. I'll make sure that I'm the one dictating the pace. I'm the one that's going to be dictating the fight, and like I said, I got to keep him on his heels. And right now, I'm putting in the work in the gym just to make sure that I do that.
Well, I wish you the best, and thank you very much. I just have one more question for Mr. Goosen. Mr. Goosen, are you there?
I'm here.
I have a question for you. Whoever wins this fight, and I agree, I thought the first fight was a great fight, and I can't wait to see this next one, and kudos to ESPN. They're doing a really good thing with this, and so are you guys. Having said all that, do you feel Vladimir Klitschko has to be defeated in order for the heavyweight division to truly be rejuvenated?
Look, no matter who holds this heavyweight title, the Klitschkos have deserved to be recognized as the heavyweight champion, and it'll be the duty of the winner of this fight to go out there and determine the sole heavyweight champion in the world. Can't take anything away from Vladimir. He's held that title for 8 years, I believe, if Dan Rayfield is correct. Vitaly, a great champion. Now, as you know, with the fight for peace, a lot of that title is a direct reflection on the respect we have for Vitaly and what he's going through in the Ukraine right now.
Sure.
But also we've got heavyweight history, and heavyweight history is going to determine one of these gentlemen to be heavyweight champion. We believe that Chris Arreola is prepared to hold that belt around his waist right now, but Vladimir Klitschko will still be standing there, and they're big shoes to fill.
Right.
And another thing, Vladimir Klitschko has not only held the title, but he's held every fighter he has fought.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to give them their respect.
Oh, all respect due. Unfortunately, it's not always entertaining, but they're some fighters, both of them. There's no 2 ways about it.
I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing Vladimir fight on ESPN, because I truly believe with the emergence of Stiverne and Arreola fighting for his brother's title, Vladimir is going to go out there on ESPN knowing that he's got a big viewership possibility, and I think he's going to go out there and try to show his greatness against Lapel.
Yeah, I too. I think he really is aiming to please on this one. Listen, if I could just throw one more question, I do not want to hog anyone's time. Mr. Quetter, if you're there, and you may not want to answer this, but do you feel HBO and Showtime have dropped the ball with the heavyweight division?
Brian, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute.
No, that's okay. Just wondering, do you feel HBO and Showtime have dropped the ball with the heavyweight division?
No, I think there's a lot to offer out in the boxing world, and each network has their own priorities, and clearly ESPN stepped up because of the value of the heavyweight division, but I wouldn't characterize it that way.
Okay. Well, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing this fight.
Sean, thanks very much for joining us. I appreciate it. Operator, can you once again review the instructions for those wanting to ask a call on the line?
Yes, of course. Once again, if you would like to ask a question or have a comment, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. That will place you in the question queue. Once again, if you would like to ask a question, that's *1 on your telephone keypad.
Thanks very much. Once again, we're going to return to Lem Satterfield from Ring Magazine and RingTV.com. Go ahead, Lem.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Pretty good, man. Real good.
Good. Chris, the first time I met you was in August of 2006. You were up at Big Bear sparring I walked in and I saw you and Hasim Rahman just going at it. And I have to say you were a lot lighter, but Hasim Rahman told me that all the guys that were there, that he thought you were going to be the next heavyweight champion. What do you remember about that session, and what does it mean to you now that this is 13 years to the day? Today is 13 years to the day that Hasim Rahman upset Lennox Lewis to become an American heavyweight champion.
Well, first of all, that's an honor, man, because I never knew he said that about me, man, and that's a big honor to hear that because honestly, I was there and I was working, man, and I loved being up there in his training camp, man. That's the first big training camp I was ever involved in, and I watched him work, and I watched him work real hard. And one thing I do remember is that every time I got in that ring, I wanted to make sure I gave him my all because I didn't want to go home. I wanted to keep getting those paychecks every week. But other than that, man, I enjoy boxing. I enjoy fighting. I enjoy the camaraderie that you get in a fight, and especially in a sparring session, because after that you just shake hands like nothing happened and just go by your day like you guys are straight friends. Yeah. Like me and Bermane, I don't need to badmouth him for him to know that he's going to have to fight me. He doesn't need to badmouth me in order for me to know who I got to fight. And on May 10th, we're going to come out there like beasts, like we hate each other. But I don't hate him, and I'm sure he doesn't hate me.
Okay. Just a real quick touch on, at what point, I know you're talking about the first 2 rounds of the last fight, and then you got knocked down in the 3rd round. At what point was your nose broken? And not to make any excuses, but what kind of effect did it have on you?
First of all, when he dropped me, that right hand shattered my nose.
Okay.
I didn't know I had that many bones in, but it was shattered like in 4 different places. And right after that, I'm the kind of fighter that comes forward, that pushes the pace, that tries to dictate the pace. And that day, I just couldn't do that because every time he punched me was so painful. Even if he didn't hit me that hard, or if he hit me in my gloves, or just hit me on the top of my head, I could feel my bones and my nose just grind against each other. I was swallowing blood. I couldn't breathe out of my nose. I had to keep breathing out of my mouth. And it was tough. It was tough in there. It was tough. If you watch the film, there was a couple times that we're inside in exchanges that you could see my face just grimace in pain.
Okay. I just have 2 more questions for you. Stiverne said that, obviously you were a known quantity. You had some highly televised fights, and including, the 2 losses to Adamek and Klitschko. He said he felt like he was the underdog going into the last fight. Was there any element of surprise on your part? I mean, not to take anything away from his performance, but was there any element of underestimating him at all?
Not underestimating him because I knew the kind of fighter he was. And I wasn't thinking because of his professional career. I always say that amateur career is a very important part of a boxer's record, and that's one thing that I looked at. He had an extensive, amateur experience, international experience. He represented his country, and that's the main thing. The thing that I did is didn't underestimate him, but I thought of myself like King Dingaling, like my shit didn't stink and I didn't need to train as hard as he did because my talent was just, my God-given talent would just cruise me by the fight or get me by whatever obstacle I would have to overcome. That's what happened. I believed too much in myself and my God-given talent instead of putting in the work that I was supposed to put in. Because I knew who I was fighting. I knew that the person I was fighting is a very good fighter, but I was just thought that my talent was just that much more superior.
How important was it for you to win, to not only beat someone like Seth Mitchell, but to beat him the way you did, because you have said to me in the past that a lot of the guys that you feel are being promoted as the next are unproven, and that they should be behind you. How important was it for you to deliver that kind of message? And do you think that the two best guys, or at least the two most proven guys, are in fact fighting for the heavyweight championship on May 10th?
Absolutely. We are the two best heavyweights out in the world today. We are. You know, he has a proven record, and so do I. But as far as taking out Seth Mitchell, man, that was an honor. I did that for all the boxing fans. I did that for all the true boxers that actually put in the time as a boxer, as a amateur fighter, the one that actually just grind it out and have always had just one aspiration, that's to be a champion. You know, personally, man, whatever, it is what it is with Seth, but to me, it was a disrespectful kind of thing that they were looking him as the next big thing. I just had to shut everybody out and shut everybody up also to make sure that they know that I'm still a heavyweight to be reckoned with. You know, and I don't want to be one of those paycheck fighters, like I said. I didn't want to be a stepping stone for somebody. I don't want to be a name under their belt. That's not me. That's not me at all. And I had to make sure, I had to prove myself, you know, especially coming off a loss like against Stiverne. And come May 10th, man, I have to redeem myself. I had to redeem myself for my own self, for my honor, for Henry, for my promoter Dan, for Al, for my family, man. And I got to show everybody, the world, that this Mexican American is the best heavyweight in the world.
Okay, well, I got one more. I got to ask him now. You talked about Seth Mitchell. You looked in incredible shape for that fight. Characterize what you did for that fight and your shape relative to most other fights in your career. I mean, because you looked better than I've seen in like a long time.
What I did, I just committed myself to boxing. I made sure that I left my house. I took myself out of my own comfort zone, and I was at the gym every day with my mind set on demolishing Seth Mitchell. Just like I'm right now, every day I'm at the gym. Every day I'm thinking about my future. Every day I'm thinking about this fight against Bermane Stiverne. Because you thought I was in good shape against Mitchell. It's another different animal going to come on May 10th. I'm gonna be in better shape than I'm gonna be in better shape May 10th than I was for the Seth Mitchell fight. I guarantee you that. You know, I'm putting in the work. You may see a little bit of abs in there, and
wow.
But the main thing is I'm gonna be in the best boxing shape that I've been in my career.
Thanks, guys. This has been a great call. Good luck on May 10th.
Thank you, Len.
Next up, Richard Diocio from Examiner.com. Go ahead, Richard.
Hey again. Thanks again for taking my call. I have a question for Brian, if he's still on the line, and one for Chris. I'll start with Brian, if he's still around.
Brian's there.
Go ahead.
Hey, Brian, quickly, looking at the programming that you're, the lead up for this heavyweight fight, you're having a fight, two heavyweight fights, in the span of 3 weeks or so. Is this a one-time promotional programming feature, or will fight fans see more prize fight programming from ESPN?
I'm a big believer that you can't do the same things year after year and expect success. And this was an opportunity that we saw. We took it. And while I can't promise big fights like this in the future, it certainly opens the door for the possibility down the road.
And my question for Chris, earlier in the call, Bermane mentioned that he's anticipating you to be in the best shape, better shape than the first fight. And if that's the case, he said, that'll bring out the best in him. So if fight fans can expect two fighters in the prime and peak physical condition, ultimately, what's going to be the factor that's going to allow you to walk away the victor and with the championship belt around your waist?
Well, the main factor about me, I know in my case, that I'm willing to go through hell to win a fight. We don't know if he is. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him through hell. See if he's willing to finish a fight. Hurt, beating, broken this, broken that. That's what I'm going to do. Because everyone sees that I'm willing to fight 9 rounds with a broken nose and finish it up. And still keep trying, keep pushing, keep grinding to win a fight. And that's my X factor. My X factor is my balls. The fact that I'm willing to go through hell to win a fight. And we're going to see what Bermane's willing to go through.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Richard. Go ahead.
Just a quick follow-up. So with that being said, what you just described there, are you leaning to a prediction? Do you have a vision of how this fight will end?
I don't like the judges, man. My respect go out to every judge, but I don't like judges. I don't like judges at all. I don't want to see the judge. You know, maybe after the fight I'll see him, but I don't want to hear anybody reading the scorecards. So yeah, I want this fight to end. I want it to end early because they don't pay me overtime. You know, I get a flat rate regardless if it ends in the first or in the 12th round. So just give me my paycheck after the fight's over and wrap the belt around my waist and go out to dinner and go to sleep that night comfortably.
And you forgot to add in a bonus with a knockout.
Oh shit, there's a bonus?
Well, you're damn right.
Oh man, if there's a bonus, then I'm going for the knockout. Come on now.
Yeah, another 8-week training camp.
Oh man.
No, hey, Chris, a bonus.
Yes, sir.
You're going to get a bonus.
Richard, thank you very much for the call. We're going to take one more question. Nick Bellafato from Pro Boxing Insider. Nick, go ahead, please.